The European Super League was a proposal league that was meant to change how club football worked and to protest against UEFA. However, this ended being a massive failure and now the project is officially dead, and almost no one knew how did we get to this point and why just recently it was over. This is how the European Super League was football's biggest failure. Our story begins in 2018, when talks between European clubs began regarding financial issues and the UEFA Champions League format. All of this was organized in secret, but the one leading the talks of a breakaway league was Real Madrid's president, Florentino Perez, which in multiple occasions in the past had stated his opposition to the Champions League, and Andrea Agnelli, chairman of Juventus, who was also against the format and money prizes for participating. After the COVID-19 pandemic, Real Madrid was one of the most affected teams financially, which sparked the idea of the Super League again. Eventually, UEFA caught on and raised suspicions over a formation of a breakaway league, which would end up materializing on the 18th of April 2021. The Super League was officially announced, with 12 founding members: Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus, Chelsea, Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Tottenham, and Arsenal. The original plan was to have 15 teams, contacting teams from Germany, France and Portugal, most notably Bayern Munich and PSG, which denied the invitation and condemned the decision. This immediately came with outroar from the fans of the teams involved, and even football legends like Luis Figo, and most notably, Gary Neville.
Seriously, you have got to stamp on this. It's criminal. It's a criminal act against football fans in this country. Make no mistake about it. This is the biggest sport in the world. This is the biggest sport in this country, and it's a criminal act against the fans.
The project had received a funding of approximately almost $5 billion and was financed by JP Morgan. They were seemingly betting on the end of football as we were gonna know it. What followed was condemnation by the British and French governments, threatening to drop legislative bombs on those teams who did not leave the league, and this would work a few hours later. The infamous Stamford Bridge incident, where the Chelsea crowd protesting got so bad that even legendary goalkeeper Petr Cech was sent in to calm the crowd, but the message was final. 1 hour later, Chelsea withdrew from the league. There were now 11 left, but this would get worse soon after. 2 hours later, Man City had enacted the procedures to withdraw from the group, developing plans for a European Super League. 10 left. Another 2 hours pass, 10:55 PM, and the rest of the English clubs leave the Super League idea. Arsenal released a long statement regarding why the team agreed on the idea. Liverpool's approach was different. John Henry, the face of Liverpool in the Super League, made an apology on YouTube.
I want to apologize to all the fans, supporters of Liverpool Football Club for the disruption I caused over the past 48 hours.
Man United went out directly with a shorter apology to the fans, and at the same time, Ed Woodward resigned his position due to his involvement in the Super League plan. As for Tottenham, well, they had already got in controversy for sacking Jose Mourinho just 24 hours after the announcement, and after their announcement came, their fans weren't as happy as the other English clubs. They protested outside their newly built stadium the following day. 6 left, the project was done, and the remaining teams knew it. 10:55 AM, Atletico drop out the league. 5. Almost immediately, Inter Milan drop as well. 4. An hour later, AC Milan also leaves. 3. Juventus followed suit. 2. Wait. Hang on a minute. Well, it turns out this never happened. Instead, they came out with a statement. Like every other team, they had excuses for joining. But the interesting part is that they never left, and the plan continued with 3 teams left. With the English giants in retreat, the Super League appeared to be dead, but in late 2022, the project underwent a radical transformation. Gone were the billionaires in suits. In their place came A22 Sports Management, led by the polished media executive, Bernd Reichert. A22 knew they had a branding nightmare. Their solution, a streaming service called Unify. They promised a multi-divisional system with promotion and relegation. Here's how the league was gonna work. It would be split in 4 divisions: Star, Gold, Blue, and Union, with 96 teams participating in total, but it was basically impossible to make, since only 3 teams had agreed on the plan, and everyone else declined, including most of their former partners. You might have noticed about Napoli accepting the proposal, but why? Napoli's president had stated in multiple occasions his preference of a Super League format, and even as recently as December of last year proposing to change the name of the Serie A to Serie E. You might have also noticed that Juventus is not on the list. Well, firstly, Agnelli had controversy of his own.
The entire board of directors at Juventus resigned last night, including the president Andrea Agnelli and the vice president. What a player this guy was in his day, Pavel Nedved, but has been linked with Juventus, closely associated.
A devastating blow, and with the new chairman totally against the breakaway, Juventus formalized plans to departure from the Super League, ending the partnership in June of 2024. 2 left. There were almost no important news for a while, but on February 2026, the silence was broken. For the final time, Barcelona walked away on the 7th, and just 4 days later, Florentino Perez finally signed the armistice, saying that it was to reach an agreement for the good of European club football. The war for football was over. Today, every team that left has rejoined the European Club Association. But, were the protests for nothing? UEFA introduced a new Swiss format, which many say is a resemblance of what the fans didn't want. But what do you think? Was the Super League a warning to what would happen to football? Tell me in the comments. Can we get to 7,000 by the end of the month? Please help me reach my goal. Thanks for watching.